age right now, you know?
Well, we had some callers from England, London, a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and they said that for word was, you guys look weak. You used to be the shining. What did Reagan say? The shining beacon on the hill, whatever the hell it was. I can't remember, but
I don't know.
We no longer look like that.
No, man, and it's. Oh my God! Oh my God! Speaking of that, it just popped into my head. We have traitors amongst us.
Oh,
Openly,
is that the thing that you sent me? Yeah.
Yes, openly traitorous to our country. Representative Ilhan Omar, who is a Somali piece of shit, should be at the very, very, very least taken out of office. But that's not even good enough. Taken out of office, deported. No, that's not good enough. Her ass needs to go to jail for the rest of her life for treason, because our country's too big of pussies to execute anyone anymore for treason.
Yeah, well, fine. We don't have to execute her, but I don't even think we have the balls to get her out of office, quite honestly.
No.
So you're talking, that's a ways down the road. I doubt we even would push her out of office, because we apologize all the time, and we just let anybody say whatever the hell they want. We should be the big, take the high road and accept it. But you're right. When you sent that to me the other night, because you sent that link, I hadn't seen it until you sent it, and I said that I just had one word. That's treason.
Wait a minute. You're telling me you didn't see that on the mainstream media at all?
No. Well, I think I was watching a movie.
Shocking.
Yeah, when you sent that, I was watching a movie, but what did I say? I had one word. That's treason.
Yep.
There's no other way to say that, and there was a time when we would have considered that pretty serious, and we sure as hell wouldn't have wanted that rotten apple in the barrel.
Hell no. So if you are listening, if you're out there and listening in listener's land, which it looks like nobody is right now, and that's fine, I highly encourage you to write your congressman and demand that this piece of traitorous trash be thrown out of office.
Yeah.
If you don't at least do that, then you really don't have a leg to stand on to complain. Mm-hmm. I wrote my congressman yesterday.
That's what you said.
I'm waiting to hear back, because
Now, how do you do something like that, Andy? How do you
It's real simple. What you do is you go into Google, you type in "who is my congressman." It'll bring you to a website. You'll type in your zip code. It'll pull it up for your district and whatnot. Give you a link to that individual, and you click on it, and then you'll be able to send a message that way. Mm-hmm. Super simple. If I can figure it out, anybody can.
When you say that, you say, "Hey, I served this country. This is my concerns. I didn't serve a country that was." I mean, how do you put that? Somebody like you that did serve, because I would think you'd find that highly offensive.
Completely. And what I did, I said basically that I'd served for over 3 decades, and I swore an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and, more importantly, domestic. Mm-hmm. This is a domestic enemy. This is an enemy of the state who is infiltrating us from the inside out. And if you can't see that, well, there's a couple things. You either don't want to see it, you're too blind to see it, or you're just plain fucking stupid.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, think what you just said, though, right? You said you are a domestic enemy of this country, which if you would listen to Biden, she's not, because who is the real enemy are the people that feel so strongly about this country that they, vote a certain way, or maybe they don't vote a certain way because they feel so. It's right. All the view of that. But he would rather call a Trump supporter a domestic terrorist than he would an actual fucking terrorist,
of course,
in office, a terrorist.
Right.
By the way, great point, because that is a domestic terrorist. She's pretty clear about it. When your loyalties don't lie. This should be your family now, or you shouldn't be in our office. Right. You shouldn't have a say of what goes on in our family.
Did you actually watch it?
I didn't watch it. I perused the article real quickly. Okay. Got what I need, because I was watching the thing, but I did come across something today on YouTube. And I didn't hit on it, but it said, it mentioned her, and it mentioned the freaking moron here we have, Bush.
Oh God.
Because she's from here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, now she's getting caught.
Oh yeah, she's an upstanding citizen.
Right. So what happens in a situation like that? She's what? It's misappropriation of funding, or she was getting BLM money. I mean,
I'm not. There's been so many allegations against her. I couldn't tell you all of them. So here's the deal, folks. If you like things the way they are, and you want them to continue, and you want more and more of your rights taken away, just continue doing what you're doing. However, if you're sick of this shit, like most Americans are getting to nowadays, at least everyone that I talk to, and I talk to a lot of people, man.
Well, you see it though. You can see it. I think when you get accustomed to a certain life, you get, I just don't want to get involved. That I got this going on, I got that going on, and I'm just happy. I think a lot of people now are kind of starting to worry. They're seeing it,
Well, this was the last straw for me, man. I'm normally a go along to get along kind of guy, stay in my own little bubble, but when I see the boldness in it, her statement, Somalia first, Somalia always.
Yeah.
You're a fucking sitting representative of the United States of America.
But now you're not. I mean, how that can't go together. They can't be dance partners. You can't say that and then do that. It should be out by default. Like, okay, well, you're gone.
Right. We knew. Well, I say we. If you're of a semi-intelligence individual, then you knew from the very beginning what she was. Mm-hmm. She's not an American.
No, it's an infiltration of our system. Right. But here's the thing I'll give her credit for. I think there's a lot of people like her that are in those same positions, but they don't have the brass to come out and say what she said.
Oh, I guarantee it, man. This was basically thought of by the KGB back in the 60s. Mm-hmm. They're not around anymore, but they sure as hell played the long game.
There's a presence, yeah.
Because that was their plan all along. You got to get inside the infrastructure, mm-hmm. because they knew that there was no way that they were going to defeat us in a battle. Mm-hmm. A straight up war wasn't going to happen. But they did the next best thing. They've corrupted us from the inside.
Yeah. It's really it's like that. And even the Democratic Party now, if you're blue or you're whatnot, this is not, Biden's so famous for saying this isn't your dad's Republican Party. Well, it's way, way closer and way less radical than your dad's Democratic Party, whatever it was.
Well, the Democratic Party is dead.
Yeah.
The Democratic Party of old is no longer in existence.
Yeah. I mean, so look, we just covered, and we were going to talk about this earlier. I'll bring it up now. We were talking about how people are starting to see it. They're starting to open their eyes to this, and whether it's too late or not too late, I don't know yet. But I do know that you hear people so often. Everyone gets in their echo chambers, whether you're on the left or whether you're in the New York Times newspaper or you're at Fox News. They're all in echo chambers. We can agree on that, right?
Totally.
But one of the things I think is interesting is what just happened. I don't know if it was today or it was yesterday, but it just happened recently. And I can't even think of her damn name. Joey on MSNBC, the really racist black lady.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Which cut on the hot mic?
Oh, yeah. She said he's going to get us another fucking war.
Okay. Yeah. This is important because it goes along with what we were just talking about. Because we're saying, well, we think the people are starting to see what we see. Well, there's fucking proof. Because even when she says that, she's saying what you and I and everyone on the right, every normal fucking person that can think for themselves, I would say probably 80% of our country is thinking, this guy's about to get us in another fucking war. She says it. But she doesn't know she's mic'd up.
Right.
So again, it proves exactly that she thinks like us. She's thinking the same shit, but she's paid to say what the establishment wants her to say. Or we'll go ahead and call them, as a lot of people say, the mainstream media. And I'm a big listener of Michael Malice. I think he's got a lot of great points, and he just has a lot of good guests that bring up a lot of good stuff. And one of the things he has started calling them and bringing to light, it is really just like they say, it's all in the vocab. It's all in the way that you label or you twist something. And when he says this, he's so right. It's not the mainstream media. It is the corporate media. And people need to understand it is the corporate media. This is media that is sponsored, paid for by corporations. And, it's...
Namely George Soros.
Yeah, or whoever Biden's working for.
Because
Soros. He's obviously corporate too. But this is what, was it Noam Chomsky wrote when he said manufacturing consent? And that's exactly what that is. You have to manufacture consent. So when they're pushing these wars and they're getting you to pretend like Biden knows what he's doing, and they go, no, these aren't the droids you're seeking. That's manufacturing. They need to get you angry. They need to get you involved in this war that they want to fight.
Yep.
And that's called manufacturing consent. That's when you hear her say that, though, man, it's awesome because she's saying what we're all saying, but she's paid to tell us something else.
Did you hear the disdain in her voice when she said it?
It's the same way you and I talk.
Yep.
This motherfucker's getting us in another war. She says it. She says it just like that. He's getting us in another fucking war.
Yep.
She's mocking him. She knows the same thing that we're all saying all the time. This guy's not running this administration. He's bad news. But can you imagine, dude? Can you imagine, especially someone like you that fought for the country, that was involved with the interests of this country? Can you imagine what fucking amount, just shred of integrity you have to have left where you're willing to push a certain fucking narrative for money?
You have no integrity.
None.
Zero. You never had it.
None.
Never had it.
None.
Because, you just never had it, period. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get off my soapbox. For all you Democrats out there that are so anti-Trump, so anti-Republican, I'm going to say shame on you. And shame on you because you're putting your party first. You should be putting your country first. And if you put your country first, you could avoid a lot of the issues that we're having, and we could actually have a country. As a matter of fact, we don't even have a country right now. You can't have open borders and have a country.
Yeah, I mean, we have a game going on.
Holy shit, I'm fired up tonight.
Yeah, well, I mean, you should be. We have a game going on where we just want to stop the other team from scoring.
Yeah.
And we've picked a side, we've picked our teams, and now we just want to, we don't want to score any goals ourselves and make this a better country like you're saying. We want to just stop the other team from getting their way.
That's it.
Or getting a score. We're not worried about winning. We're worried about them not winning.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we're fucking strangle holding our country.
Yep. Who loses?
Yeah.
Who loses? The citizens lose. All of us lose with your petty bullshit games. And you know what? The right's not any better.
No, it's the same damn thing. And we're, like the biggest concern, and this is, it kind of goes hand in hand. They say that population's down. They say that kids today don't want to have kids. That goes hand in hand with the movement that they're pushing.
Well, hold on. The population's not necessarily down because we got a whole bunch of motherfuckers just flooding into this country. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I read
not
an article.
Americans, though.
Right. I read an article today that there are more, they said immigrants. I'm going to go with illegal aliens because that's what they are. More illegal aliens coming in to this country at this time than new births are occurring.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
There's more illegal immigrants than new births in this country.
Yeah, and did you hear that dope come out and say, they asked him, they said, what are you going to do? Why can't you just push a plan forward to block the border and protect our borders? And he says, I've been asking. He screams all the time, like that fucking crotchety old man.
The puppet?
He's just fucking screaming. And he goes, I've been asking, and this is the killer part. He says, I've been asking for the power. Give me the power. Fuck you. Right. You're not getting any more power.
Right. Well, it's just rhetoric is all it is. He has been. He
could do that right now.
He sure could.
Yeah. He just doesn't want to, but he wants us to grant him more power. What he wants to do is from my understanding, is he wants a total access and control over the border patrol. And then he can just do whatever the fuck you. They'll just pull everybody off.
Right.
That's what he's trying to get from Congress. Give me the control. Well, first off, there's like they have one seat more. So it's a slim margin. Like there's not a lot of room there, anyways. He could do all of this. He could make these moves. Most Americans at this point. I mean, he's losing this big. Did you hear about Snoop Dogg?
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking Snoop Dogg, who wrote a goddamn song about Trump and shooting him, is now friends with him, hanging out with him because I like the guy. He's helped me out. You know.
Snoop, my nizzle from another mizzle. You're amazing. What you do, my friend, nobody else can do. No one.
No, they're hanging out. Yeah.
They're smoking weed.
Yeah, 5 years ago, he's going to shoot him in a video. But, I mean, that's how far Biden's pushed people. He's lost the people. He's lost the blacks. He's lost the Hispanics. He's lost, the only people I think that he hasn't completely lost yet are
the Karens,
white women.
The Karens.
White women, yeah. Yep.
So he could run away with this election. You know that, right? And it would be legit.
He could, but he's going to be. What?
Well, it's so simple, man.
Well, here's what I'm hearing.
Fix the border issue. Don't fucking say what you would do if you had power. Fucking do it.
He's got so much work. So think about this. He tried to do that before, and if you think they're going to just let him get in there and do it again, there can be roadblocks left and right. But he's got at least, whoever gets in, it has at least fucking 20 years of getting rid of the shit that's already come through.
Yeah. And a lot of it you won't.
Yeah,
so you have to prioritize. Yeah. What's more important, getting rid of that shit, or let's pass more legislation to maybe counteract or to really, really fix what currently needs to be fixed, because you can't fix the 20 years of shit that's in the past, right?
Yeah.
My point with Biden is he's got a chance right now to be presidential. He's got a chance to be a leader.
He's not
but he won't do it.
He's not a president. He's not a leader.
He's a scumbag criminal.
Yeah, he is there, and what he is doing right now is, I believe he's so egotistical. He's been good at pretending to be average Joe, but he's not. He's egotistical. He wants power, and I believe he's trying to set his family up for the rest of their lives.
Yeah,
can you imagine the fucking deals that have been pushed through in the last 4 years?
I'm scared to think of it.
Oh, I can't even imagine the shit he's got overseas. And the worst part is at this point, whatever money he's earned, he may as well just put it in his personal account, because they don't fucking care.
Right.
He may as well be driving around in a fucking Rolls Royce, flying around in his own private jets, because they don't fucking care. They don't.
They don't. It's so painfully obvious. If you're not paying attention, guess what? Your politicians don't give two shits about whatever you want. Mm-mm. They don't care. Yeah. They don't care. So if you're going to continue to vote Democrat in this day and age, you're just dumb. And you know what? I will probably lose some friends over this. So be it at this point. I'm not that kind of person, but I can't, I fought for this country for 3 decades, man. I can't just idly sit by and watch it turn to dust over. Well, he said, she said, you need to call me a she even though I'm a he, and I got a PP, and maybe it just dropped down to my knee. I don't know.
And what's more is, listen to what you're saying right now as a person who's been there, done it. And what advice would you give a kid today that wanted to do what you did? Would you suggest it, or would you say, hey?
Hell no. Hell no.
And think about that.
The military
is fucking powerful, right?
Has become all the military is nowadays, and I'm not being facetious when I say this, is it's a giant social experiment. That's all it is. We no longer, go back. Let's just even go back to Vietnam. Our hands were tied in Vietnam by politicians. So the military, although we are technologically far superior to anyone else out there, the military has continuously been on a decline. Came up a little bit when Reagan came into office. Of course, Clinton did the worst damage. Mm-hmm. He slashed our ships. We went from over a 600 ship fleet in the Navy to below 300 ships when he came into office.
Wow. How did he do that? Like, I mean, you just cut...
your
sell
budget.
Them off? You just cut the budgets and then break them down?
Yep. There's no more. Yeah. The budget was cut. These.
What's the reason for that, though? What do you think?
Democrat.
But
honestly,
is it to allocate funding elsewhere?
No.
Okay.
No, they're anti-military. In case you
But you can't be anti-military, and they're the ones always starting the fucking wars. They need this shit to do it. It's like saying, I love to travel, but I don't have a car.
I can't explain crazy to you, man.
Yeah.
I can't make it make sense to you because it doesn't make sense.
Right.
But if you go back and look historically, factually, I really don't give a shit about your politics. Not you, Ryan. Whoever's listening, I don't give a shit about your politics because you can't dispute the numbers. It doesn't matter what your affiliation is. You can go back through history and you can see the algorithm of every time a Democrat comes into office, the military budget gets slashed. And every time a Republican comes back in, it gets built back up. It's a never-ending cycle of these slashes and rebuilds. That's no way to run a military, man. And, I've said it, with the exception of the Marine Corps and the very few officers in the Army, maybe one or two in the Navy, senior officers, they're in it for themselves, basically. Leadership is almost non-existent. The military's become let's face it, it's become a corporation with a dress code. Don't say faggot or don't say trans because you have to go see HR. In the civilian world. In the military world, same thing happens, but there's a lot more ramifications. As an enlisted person, you'll go see the man, and for a minor infraction, he can take half a month's pay times 2. He can give you restriction. He can give you extra duty. He or she can really fuck your life up that way, But for the most part, when you go to NJP, you deserve it. For the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing about NJP, which stands for non-judicial punishment. You don't have to prove guilt in a non-judicial punishment proceeding. It's whatever the presiding official deems. Either you're guilty or you're not guilty. Doesn't matter. It's what they think.
Mm-hmm.
Now, courts martial are a little bit different, but yeah, for just your standard NJP, that's what happens, and they're usually minor infractions. That's why they're given that power to do so. But as a young enlisted person, you're not making a lot of money to begin with, and to get half of what you're getting every month taken away for 2-3 months, that hurts.
Yeah. So, it's interesting because you're talking about Clinton, and I'll go back even farther. And this is we'll come to like what we were talking about tonight. The nostalgic behind this is that we grew up in the Cold War.
Right.
Looks like we're getting, if what you're saying is correct, about to get into another Cold War. We're right in the yellow. Reagan was in, and you're talking about leadership, and I'll use him as take that and go with it. Great leadership. I can remember growing up in this country when everybody proudly flew a flag. One of the things my dad said to me at the end of his terms, I asked him one day, I said, how do you feel about Ronald Reagan, Dad? And he goes, if the guy did nothing else, if you just said that he did nothing, the one thing he did do, and my dad served, he was Navy. The one thing he did do is he brought back pride, national pride in his country. Yep. Because everyone's flying flags. Everyone's wearing flags on their shirts today. And look at the movies. We talk nostalgia all the time. You got Rocky. You've got Rambo. You've got all of us were very proud, to the point that we didn't give a shit about any other country.
Right.
We were on steroids, and Reagan put us on steroids. And then, a lot of people say, well, it was Gorbachev's idea, and it was Gorbachev's idea. He was the guy that he finally realized that with the route that they were going, with the KGB, the way that they were going about their communism. It wasn't good. It wasn't good for the people. And Gorbachev, in a sense, had an idea that Reagan was right. But it was Reagan that took that idea to him and said, this isn't right. The people aren't happy. And the people got to be happy. And this isn't making them happy. The people have to prosper. If the people don't fucking prosper, then what's the point? Right. No one wants to be miserable.
I'll tell you, Mr. Gorbachev, rub off that stain.
Dude, he did... That's great leadership, though. He gets in there. He's in there for 8 years. We see him start to slip at the end, but he gets us out of a major fucking war. And anybody who grew up then can remember that war well. I mean, we had Cola Wars. We had And we had those wars, and the Cola Wars almost emulated the Cold War.
Did you say colon?
Colon Wars, yeah.
Cola.
Cola.
Well, that sounds shitty right
Pepsi
there.
and Coke, and people might find it hard to believe that Pepsi was really a big thing back then.
What about Crystal Pepsi? You remember that crap?
That came out in the 90s, right? That wasn't 80s.
I don't remember, was it?
Yeah, I don't
Maybe.
think it was. There was a lot of cola. Remember there was like New Coke? New Coke has been, by the way, I think New Coke has been beaten by Disney. I think one of these days, hey, remember when New Coke came out? We were like, what the fuck were they thinking?
Right.
But they fucking backpedaled and course corrected, and they went, ta-da, we're bringing it back. That was like, what, a year? Less than a year, I think. They said, we're bringing it back. So because the business model was, oh, we're losing fucking money, we need to correct this. Disney's still going, fuck it. We're good. 10 years. What are we on? 5, 6, almost 10 years now since they bought. But that's going to be, there's going to be books and stories written. There it goes. There's going to be books and stories written about this Disney thing. But, back to what I was saying, that was good leadership. Reagan gets that, now we're right fucking back. You get Putin, who was actually under Gorbachev. He didn't like what he was seeing. He's back in power. He wants that. That's what this whole Ukraine thing's about.
Putin is 100% KGB through and through. He's old school Russia, Soviet Union, not Russia.
Yeah,
Soviet
he didn't
Union.
like what Gorbachev, and especially when Yeltsin comes in, right? Because Yeltsin gets in there. He's a man of the people. He's a good guy. He's laughing, and they hated that.
He looks like he was just a fucking drunk.
He was a drunk, dude. Did you ever hear the story about the White House when he's staying? Because he'd always go to the White House and stay, and Clinton was in office at the time, and he'd get fucking jacked. He'd just be jacked, and they found him one night outside the White House on the street. He was in his underwear, and he'd ordered a pizza. Yeah. Dude, you got to look this story up, dude. It's fucking
That's great,
glorious.
man.
It's so bad. Like, and every time my wife will get Taiwan on or something, I'll go, whatever, Yeltsin.
Well, when Clinton was office, that's why he showed up, because how Bill was with his clubby hookers.
Oh, dude, fucking you imagine?
Boris, let me get you some of the best snatch this side of the United States.
That's the thing. That's the thing, because they were talking about Epstein's files coming out. I'm like, no fucking way, as long as that guy. Clinton's got probably some of the best.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Go on, hit me. You were on his files?
We're about to go into war, and Epstein has a lot to do with it.
Okay.
Distraction, man. We haven't talked about Epstein in 2 weeks, and these names are continuously coming out. Where's that at in the media? Distraction 101, man.
Well, okay, so they had names, but it's the same names we had, but there's nothing attached to those names. So, honest to God, I think that's just another product of the media trying to bring it up something that they're not going to give you any information because they don't have it. I really don't think they have it.
Somebody's got it.
You think so?
Somebody has it. And
well, wouldn't it be
there's a lot.
Ghislaine?
Well, she's not going to give it up until her book comes out.
Dude,
she's not going to be free to enjoy it, but she's not.
Yeah, it's not only that, but if she were going to put that in a book, don't you think they'd kill everybody involved in that book?
She's already talking about writing her book.
Yeah, but if she were to put down actual people, don't you think they would kill? They'd bomb the fucking publishing company.
She's got nothing to lose.
She's got nothing to lose.
She doesn't give a shit, is my point.
Well, she's got nothing to lose, but also by the same token, she's not. There's no way they're going to allow this shit to come out. Dude, I always say this to people when they say, I don't think we're capable of that. Guys, let me explain this. And you're paying attention. We go into other fucking countries and take them over. We don't like what we see. We go in and we fucking stop it. We kill their leaders and we take over.
All in the name of democracy.
All in the name of now, if you don't think for a fucking second they won't and can't and haven't done that here, you're fucking nuts. You've lost. They're not going to go, you know what? We'll do it to them, but not you. There's no way that they wouldn't. You know, when Biden says domestic terrorist, he's essentially saying what they would say about her. If she were to release something like that, that would be considered a domestic terrorist and anything goes.
Well, you realize he's talking about you and I.
Right. I know that. Or anybody who 50% of the country,
Yeah. So I get what you're saying about the publishing companies and whatnot, but they're such an easy go around. I self-published my book.
No, I know that, but do you think that he doesn't have? So let's say you're going to do that. The most viable way to do that today would be Amazon. For somebody like her, that's what everybody goes to when they get canceled. They just release their self-publish their book on Amazon. They're not going to do that. You don't think that? You think for a second the guy that owns the Washington Post is going to go, yeah, let's put out shit. He's probably in the fucking files.
Dude, there's so many small-time self-publishing things out there that if she wants to get it out, she can get it out.
Yeah, and every one of those people that own it, which is Joe Blow that works in his basement, is going to get hit by a fucking red light the day after they find out. Like I said, if you think that they can't stop a tiny little publishing company here, but yet they can go take over a fucking Afghanistan.
Oh, I never said that they couldn't.
Yeah,
I never. I'm just saying that, if she wants to get it out, she can.
They said, "Hey, we need oil," and they fucking took Baghdad in fucking 2.5 nights.
But my whole point is that it's a huge distraction. Nobody's talking about it anymore, and I think there's a lot that really needs to be focused on in there. You know what?
There's a lot that needs to be focused on in everything,
particularly the Epstein issue.
Well,
it goes. I promise you, it goes so much deeper.
Oh,
and
for sure.
So these fucking clowns are getting away with it essentially because somebody made a deal.
I think they've always gotten away with it.
Well, they have, but we had a fucking real no shit chance to put a stop to a lot of it.
The way.
Fucking bunch of cowards in this country is what we are.
I think there was somebody just talking about the immigration, what they're doing down there, and they're taking these kids from them. That's where they're getting the majority of them.
Oh yeah.
But I mean,
good evening, Mr. Spencer. How are you, sir? I'd like your thoughts on the whole Ilhan Omar situation, being as how you are a former state representative of Missouri. Please call my phone. We'll put you right through live on the show.
This shit's been going on forever. I don't see it stopping.
No.
And I think that the people that are in power right now are more corrupt than they've probably ever been. When we had Sargent on, he brought up one of the things that has kind of stuck with me since. He talks about Eisenhower. Mm-hmm. I can't remember what he said, but Eisenhower goes down. He was in the hospital or something, or he was busy. Could be the hospital, and he has to go. He wants to go. I want to go see this for myself. Whatever I can't remember. It had something to do with Mexico or to Cuba or something. And he wanted to go see it for himself. And they said, and he went down there and he interfered. And he said at that point they were like, "We won't let that happen again. We won't ever allow that kind of interference." So at that point they started controlling the president and putting the people that they think would serve him. And in you see two things happening in the past few years. A guy they can't control, and they don't want him in. And the guy they can control, and they fucking love him.
Well, that is it 1,000%. They can't control him. That's why they are so against him. And they've done a fantastic, marvelous job of spinning the rhetoric to get half the damn country to hate him. Not just not vote for him, but to no shit, hate this man so much that we've coined a new phrase, Trump derangement syndrome. You mentioned the name to some people, and they lose their shit. Mm-hmm. When you got retards like fucking Rosie O'Donnell out there, I'm not a real big fan of how Trump says mean shit to a lot of people, but I'm right on board with him.
Didn't he call her O-Fat, Rosie O-Fat or something? Or
I'm right on board with him making fun of her because he says during the debate, and I'm not quoting this obviously because I don't remember verbatim, but basically the moderator asked him about his comments about women being pigs, blah 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 blah, and he says, no, you're wrong. Not all women are pigs, just Rosie O'Donnell.
That's what it was.
I was like, yeah, go ahead, Donald.
That's come on. That's funny shit.
Dude, I watched his acceptance speech. Had nothing else on the TV in New Hampshire. He's fucking hilarious, man. He could be a stand-up comedian, no shit, because his timing is perfect.
Yeah, and it's a quick, and he's smart.
Yeah.
And it's a quick wittedness, and that's why most comedians, if you listen to, everyone makes fun and goes, "Oh, did you hear that comedians are they're the new experts?" No, they've always been smart. Because you have to be, because you're thinking fast, and you have to put it together. You have to put it in a certain way. You've ran all the things through inside of your head in an instant where it would have taken anybody else days to think of a way to put that and approach it in a funny situation or funny way, funny manner.
Right, you wake up at 3 a.m. and think, man, I should have said that.
That guy fucking said it like in a fraction of a second. That's why they're highly intelligent people. So it translates really well. That's why you see so many comedians do it. Bill Maher's, who's this? Stewart's. You see so many of those guys that were comedians. They're smart.
They seamlessly assimilate right into a talk show or any type of position where you have to have some sort of intellect.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rogan. I mean, you look at Rogan. That's why Rogan's highly intelligent. Rogan's a funny guy because he's way, way smarter than, he always kind of dumbs it down a little bit, but he's highly intelligent.
Very intelligent. He's not educated, but he is wicked smart.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be I know a lot of educated people that are dumber than dirt.
I would argue that all over today, and everyone's a poser today. Everyone's a poser. Everyone's faking it until they make it, for sure. But yeah, dude. So where do you? So we're talking Cold War. We've kind of lived through this. You're saying that we're on DEFCON 3 right now. Where do you see this going? Do you think this takes hold? Do you think that
there will be some conflict, which we've already seen. At this point, it's kind of standoffish. It's like lobbing rocks at this point. Two things are going to happen. We're either going to get right smack back into another Cold War, but this time it's going to be way more serious because it's not just one main enemy we're worried about. Now we have China. Now we have Russia. Now we have North Korea. Now we have Iran. Now we have pretty much the whole fucking Middle East, with the exception of the Saudis. And even all bets are off on the Saudis because if you think they got our back, well, you're sorely mistaken.
No way.
Sorely mistaken.
That guy fucking hates Biden. Do you think in the situation? So if what I've heard is true, and Russia has said we'll back them, China and us have talked, and we're considering backing Iran if the United States retaliates against them. Which, again, I'll say that they wouldn't have done that with Trump in power.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. Like I said, Iran did shoot a missile off after we killed that leader, but they were clear to miss.
Whoopsie.
They were afraid. Like, hey, don't do that again. Like, you think he's going to bomb us again? And we know they were posturing, right? They were like, hey, we got to retaliate. We can't let that go. Fair enough. Nobody died.
Totally saber rattling.
Right, 100%.
So I also predict that Taiwan will fall to Chinese hands before the next election.
Well, so if that happens, we're completely fucked. Anyway, now I've heard...
if it happens while Biden's in office, we're not going to do shit.
No, but if it happens, and it's going to happen, we're fucked. So how I've heard this put is they control 80% or more of all my microchip, everything. So I think it's every car has like over 60 microchips in it, right? So I'm probably saying that wrong, but our cars are very dependent. Anybody that's got a newer car now knows that it's fucking monitoring everything. Everything's got a sensor now. Everything, everywhere you go.
Right.
The cars are loaded with microchips now. Computers, microchips, software, all that stuff, and they control over 80% of all that market. So if China takes that, they now have all of that. They have everything that we need because we're in a whole different world. We're in a cyber world now. They have what we really want. That's why the biggest growers right now in the stock market are microchip companies. NVIDIA is doing so well. NVIDIA's like been one of the only ones that keeps climbing. If they get that, that's it. They have all the shit they need for the future. That's the way the war is going to be. It's not going to be fucking missiles and bombs. It's going to be cyber. What I've heard, because when I heard that, I thought, oh, we can't let that happen. We have to fucking bomb. We have to bomb Taiwan. We have to destroy it before they take it.
It's not going to happen because Biden's in cahoots with China. It's fact, whether you choose to accept it or not. Whatever he tells you, it doesn't matter because everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie. In fact, he lies so much, I don't think he knows the difference between telling the truth and telling a lie anymore.
Well, they all lie. It's just, are there lies to protect us or are they lies to hurt us? And in his case, it's lies to help his family, and he doesn't give a fuck after that. And that means it's hurting us.
Right. Yeah, he's enough about that clown. Anyway, what I really worry about is I really worry about China or North Korea or any one of our enemies detonating an EMP above our grid system.
What?
Electromagnetic pulse.
Okay.
So it wipes out everything electrical. Everything. So you're pretty much screwed. And I think the last article I read, or the last research that proposes 3 days on average for total collapse. Total and complete collapse.
Of the entire nation?
Yes.
3 days.
3 days.
Why would that? Would it be because of
you can't get
all the infants?
You can't get any money.
Right. And we would just kill each other.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what I say, dude. It's like we've talked about this several times. In that situation, you better hope you have fucking land. That your biggest friend is going to be space.
Yep.
And weapons. And don't let anybody tell you any fucking differently. You won't be safe in that city with neighbors. You're going to be the most dangerous. Yeah, you'll be in the most danger you've ever been in, because if that were to happen, your friends and your neighbors aren't going to be the same people you thought they were. And anybody that fucking doubts that can go back and look on YouTube at videos of people beating the shit out of each other over fucking toilet paper.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The cities, your major metropolitan areas will be the first ones devastated.
Yeah, destroyed.
Looting will take place immediately. Mm-hmm. Once they figure it out.
Yeah. I've had friends talk to me because we were talking about Bitcoin, and I was arguing for it, and it's rising again. I think there's a sound idea for Bitcoin. I think it needs to be done. A decentralized coin, for sure. There's going to be a lot of obstacles to get that done, right? There's a lot of moving parts to get that done. But the argument from them always comes back to, there's nothing there. I agree. There's nothing. It's just a digital currency.
Well, I'm scared to death of digital currency.
Well, yeah, I get that. But their argument is, well, there's nothing like paper, cash in hand in case of an emergency. What if the world comes to an end? What's going to happen to all your coin? It won't be there. If the computer systems are shut down. And I say this, your fucking money won't mean anything either, because money's obsolete. People are taking at that point.
Yeah, the only thing that I will disagree with you on that is your gold and silver will always be tender, because it's a valuable metal, and it's around the world globally. So, but you're right.
Food is going to be, so everyone that's got cows, everyone that's got vegetation, that's what's going to get you.
Oh yeah.
Food. First off, I fucking promise you this. The first thing taken will be the pharmacies. They're gone. Walgreens better fucking, all those employees better leave, because they're going to get their fucking Adderall. They're going to go get their fucking opioids. They're going to rob those places, and they might grab some chips on the way out the door.
Yeah, man, some Funyuns.
Those places are fucking distilleries, alcohol, that's all gone, and then they'll get food, and then once they run out of the processed food and it goes stale, they're coming for your land, they're coming for your cattle. But at that point, there won't be a law, right? There won't be because everyone's going to be looking out for their own. And
Daddy's law.
Yeah, and your money's not going to mean shit, because it's just a government issue paper, but there won't be a government.
Totally agree. 1,000%. Yeah. I'm just saying gold and silver will always be useful to have.
Well, so to that, I would say that would come along later. Once there's a rebuild.
Yes.
Yeah. Things might... First off, you're going to barter and, hey, what can you do, Andy? I can make a podcast. And you say, what can you do? I can make a table for you to put, and that's how we're going to trade. I got a podcast when I'm going to start to get, I'll build me a table and I'll do your podcast. That's going to be the first thing, right? And then people are going to say, the currency would probably start to form again, and it's going to be, I guess, precious metals.
Well, after the initial blast and the initial impact of everything, food and water will be the tradable monetary items, right?
Mm-hmm.
That'll be what you barter with because it'll be in scarce supply. And then once...
Water, yeah.
For sure, water, because the treatment plants are shut down now.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a clean water source or know how to appropriate water or food, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't survive without it, obviously. And you go looking for it and you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get killed.
I mean, right out of the chute?
There's a fantastic book out there. It's a fiction book. It's called 1 Minute After. It is incredible. It's a post-apocalyptic story.
1 minute after? Who's that by?
I'll have to look it up. But 1 minute after, you'll be able to find it that way. And it's basically exactly what I explained was an electromagnetic pulse was detonated across the country. All infrastructure was completely severed. And so it was a long story, about a year, you followed through about how people had to survive and what they had to do. There's different gangs out there, they're going out there marauding and looking for just mayhem and fascinating book. It's kind of a reality check, man, to be honest.
So who would have access? So like you're saying EMP, who would have access to somebody like that? Like the countries we've been
absolutely
the usual suspects?
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing about an EMP blast is they call it a blast because you detonate it. You can do it a couple ways. You can detonate it in space to take out all the satellites. And then you can do what's called an air burst. And that will take out all of the other electronics without necessarily killing people, right? You don't have to have an actual missile impact the ground. It's all a pulse of electromagnetic energy, which fries all electronics. And that's what's really scary about it, because you're not going to know about it right away, because there's no impact, right? It's an air burst. And with it bursting, well, there goes all the media outlets. There goes all your internet. There goes your phones, your radios. You're not going to know.
What about like missile detection? How would that work? So that would affect all of that, right? Is that
Sure.
all operated under the same sort of system?
We do have missile defense. But you know what? Not everything's perfect. And it only takes one to slip through.
I'm saying that fucking drone thing we were speaking of earlier. That's what they told us. They said, well, we got confused because we had one coming back and we got confused if theirs was coming in. Like, it sounds to me like you guys don't know really what's going on.
I have no problem believing it because of the fact that the state of the military right now, most of your experienced warriors, they're gone. Mm-hmm. They got out, Yeah. And what are we left with? We're left with Biden appointed top officers who think the way he does. And,
and that's by design.
Of course.
When they this is a very big thing, the vaccines, whether I don't care if you got the vaccine. That's your business. I don't care if you didn't get the vaccine. That's your business. But part of the process of that was when he said to kick everyone out, when he said, get it or you got to go. He started at the federal level. That's all by design.
Of
that
course.
was by getting people out that wouldn't comply.
Yep. And knowing who you can control.
Know who you can control, right? And getting them out. And now he's got the people in that he needs to do the shit. Hey, if I tell you to go take guns, will you go take guns? Well, I don't know why I wouldn't. I got that stupid fucking shot you told me to go get, you know?
Interesting tidbit about that. All of those people that they kicked out of the military for not getting it, they're trying to recruit them back in.
Yeah, yeah.
What does that tell you?
Yeah, yeah. It's mixed messaging for sure. But for one, why did you want them out? And did you think that would fly? See, a lot of the times when we say they're doing this and they're doing that, I don't really think they're that fucking smart. Again, it comes back to this drone thing. If that's really the case, if this guy slipped in, I think they're just not prepared. I don't think we're prepared for this at all.
No.
And
I'm telling you, we're not.
Yeah. So, do you think this is always in the back of my head because I'm a Reagan guy, right? You know, by the way, we can get into Reaganomics versus Bidenomics, and one of the things that I was looking into the other day on what was the difference of that. It never took off, right? He wanted less government. Think about that. He wanted think about what Ronald Reagan would do today if he could see this country. He wanted less government. Ronald Reagan would have never told you to get a fucking shot. Not only that, he would have probably abolished the FDAs, the three-letter companies that wanted to impose their beliefs, their values, and their systems in on you. He wanted less government. That was part of Reaganomics, right?
Right.
You got Bidenomics, and he always leaves that part out. He wants more government, like Democrats always do. But I always lose everybody when I say this, but I'm going to say it anyway because I'm hopeful. And my nostalgic always kicks in when I think of Star Wars, the good Star Wars, not Disney Star Wars. The good Star Wars, Lucas Star Wars, the Star Wars system that he said he wanted to input. And I always go back to like, people laugh, go, well, that was a stupid fucking idea. And then Trump had Space Force and people laughed at that. But that was said out loud. It was an idea. And you never really stop an idea. Once an idea is there, it kind of just keeps growing. You can't kill off an idea. There was something that none of us knew about. And it happened. And it's changed the world forever, but it was in the Manhattan Project. No one knew that was going on. They were doing something, they were trying to beat another country to the punch, and they did. And it changed everything forever. I can't help but wonder if there's not something like that now, group of scientists or techies, because we got them all. Whether, unfortunately, for better or for worse, we got all the good tech guys. And we got the smartest motherfucker in the world right here at Tesla, Elon Musk. He's the modern Einstein, right?
Yeah, but the libs hate him.
They hate him, but that doesn't mean they wouldn't use him.
They hate us because they ain't us.
Right. But they would still use us. What I'm saying is there something, do you think?
Yes.
You think there's something that...
Yes.
Okay.
Aliens. I know that sounds crazy as shit.
Go on.
I hear me out.
You think we're in partnership with aliens, or you think? Give me. What are you saying?
I don't know exactly what it is. Otherwise, wouldn't really be a secret, right? But there's something, man. There's something to it, right? Because we're coming out and we're declassifying this, and we're finding out that the U.S. has had a very secret program for 70, 80, almost, well, actually over 80 years now, close to it, with the whole Roswell incident, which they came out and they said, hey, no, just kidding. It was an air balloon. Nothing to see here, folks. Go away. But now we have more increased sightings now. And I think maybe it's not more increased. Maybe it's just the fact that more people have phones and cameras. But it seems to be an increase of sightings of whatever these things are. Now, I'm not saying they're aliens, but they are definitely exactly what the UFO stands for. They're unidentified flying object. We don't know what it is. We don't know if it's man-made. We don't know if it's another country. We don't know if it's from frickin' Pluto. Who fucking knows, right? But my point is there's definitely something there. And with this whole whistleblower shit that's going on, they just had a confidential briefing to Congress. Damn, I can't speak tonight. David oh shit.
You're doing much better than last week.
Yeah. But no, the whole disclosure thing, the whistleblower with the whole, we have alien technology, we have non-human biologicals. And I don't think, well, I know for certain it didn't start out with, hey, I'm going to blow the whistle on aliens. What it came out is, hey, I got to sign this job, start tracking money, find out where it's going, because we got a lot of money that's going places that nobody seems to know about. And that's when this guy found out about, holy shit, we have what? And then when he was approached and said, hey, you better keep your fucking mouth shut or you're not going to live much longer, that's when he was like, all right, I'm whistleblowing. You threaten me, you threaten my family, you threaten my friends.
So you think we have their technology, or do you think we're in partnership with them?
I think it could be
both. Okay.
I think it could be both. I think we definitely have their technology.
I do. Well, wow. When you start to talk like this, you kind of go down. You open up a whole field. But I do think there's some suspicious shit. Like we used to laugh at this, right? Like we would remember Back to the Future. If you go back and watch those, like the ideas they had, there's actually a touch screen in one of them, right? Like
right.
And we would laugh at that and go, and there is no fucking way. And here we kind of are. Like, I get in my car now and I can swipe everything and it's crazy. And I think that's just, I think there's so much more capable. They just release certain shit so it doesn't look suspicious.
Well, fiber optics, there's a conspiracy theory going around about fiber optics that we got that from alien technology. I think we do have.
Well, hold on though. Hold on. What? I don't know anything about fiber optics.
That's as far as I know.
Is it?
I'll give you an example. My internet right now, fiber optic.
Okay, but you have coaxial, this regular cable. That's what most of us always had. What's the difference?
I'm way too dumb to fucking tell you.
Because I don't know either.
But what I will say is I do feel that we have their technology, but we're still so far away from understanding it.
So,
but to answer your question, yes, we have their technology, and I think eventually we will get something out of that technology that will be equivalent, if not even greater, to the whole Manhattan Project, the whole change. I mean, had it not been for the atomic bomb, we would not have won the war.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, who knows? And how do we really figure that out? How did we really figure that out? There are some that say that even, in fact, I think Mark Sargent said this, claims that Eisenhower met with the aliens. And that actually there was another president, I don't remember who it was.
Excuse me.
But actually that say, yes, they did have a deal or some kind of co-op or partnership. I'm not saying I buy that. He also thinks the earth is flat.
He's probably listening. Fuck you guys.
So take that for what it's worth. But what I will say about Eisenhower, though, fantastic leader. He's the one that pretty much coined the phrase, the military-industrial complex, and he wanted no part of it. And that's a true leader that's been to war and seen its atrocities. He wanted no more of it, man. War's horrible. Mm-hmm. There's nothing glamorous about it. It's not what you see on TV.
Well, did you ever watch it? I think I recommended it to you. It's on Netflix. All is Quiet on the Water, Western.
I read that book. Man, I read that book in high school.
Watch that because it shows you, and it's fucking brutal. It's just like
I don't need it to show me.
It's terrible, right? Yeah. Well, but so back, I was gonna say I was talking to my wife tonight. I said this has probably been said a million times, and I probably heard it from somebody or somewhere. But I was thinking about how it seems that like we're killing ourselves off. We're turning each other against each other. It doesn't look like we're meant to be the power for much longer. Could it be that, so like the technology you're talking about, could it be that we got it's like a movie, like we got this technology? If you believe Sargent, he would say that the aliens were us. The world was destroyed. They moved on, and then they built the dome, and then or whatever
the firmament.
The firmament. But listen. So say that it's something like that along those lines. But it's a cycle. What it is it's just the aliens are us. They come back, try to help. The technology ends up killing us, and everything just fucking starts over again, right? Does that sound stupid? Like
it's perpetual cycle.
Yeah, rinse and repeat of Groundhog's Day, but an entire universe.
I mean, anything's plausible, I guess. I've thought about that. It's the other thing I thought of is maybe these aliens. They're not aliens, man. They're from this planet. They originated here. Look at the ocean, man. This planet is 75% water, or 80%, whatever it is, whatever the percentage is. And we haven't come close to exploring. Maybe a third, maybe.
Well, that's what we were saying to him. They could be here. Aliens could be here. They could be underwater. And that's what he said. Well, they're probably us if they are. And then you kind of go from that and say, well, maybe they come. They say we can help. And maybe they won't come until that final war kicks off. Maybe that final war comes in. They come in. They try to intervene. All for nothing.
And they say, fuck y'all. None of y'all deserve to live anymore.
Yeah. And then it just cycles back over again. They keep, it's kind of stuck in that loop of we can help. And then the technology just ends up being it. Because if you look at the technology, it looks like it could be our demise. What are you going to do? What this AI shit, right? Like some people say you don't have anything to fear. It's going to be your best friend. Others would say this could be the end of it. What if that's what it is? It's a culmination of the AI, and it is our end all, and then it destroys itself.
So what if aliens aren't really aliens? They're AI that we created.
Yeah. Which could kind of be, so they create a civilization.
If it's so intelligent artificially, why couldn't it figure out how to travel like that? I think, man, you God, there's so many rabbit holes you could go down. You could really, really twist yourself up with this subject. But yeah, I saw a story today, as a matter of fact, that there are some that believe that octopi are actually aliens that have evolved over time. And the reason they say that, octopus, multiple.
Okay. Right.
But the reason they say that is because I don't know however many thousands, millions of years ago, they know that there was a meteor that struck the Earth's surface that had alien, not life, but, cellular matter in it. And so they think that that's how the octopus was developed, because it's like no other creature on this planet. It has no bones. It can have up to 8 brains. It's highly intelligent. And if you ever watch an octopus, they get out of the weirdest shit.
Well, but if they're so fucking smart, I know they can get into the shit. But if they're so fucking smart, how come they haven't figured out how to get out of the ocean, get into a car?
That's pretty easy, man.
Get in McDonald's.
They took one look at the humans and they're like, man, fuck that. I'm staying down here.
Like, man, you guys got fat.
You guys are dumb.
Like, I'm thinking about hitting up one of those McDonald's. No, don't do it. Have you seen them lately?
I got 8 arms.
Have you seen these people? Like, they're not looking good.
I'm not saying I subscribe to that theory, but it was kind of an interesting take on it. I like the weird shit.
Well, remember the movie Abyss?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that kind of?
Yeah.
I seen it in a theater. I haven't seen it since, but I think it was. We've talked about this before, right?
Briefly.
Okay. But wasn't that what it was? Like it was underwater. They were waiting there. They get down there to see because there's a disturbance or something. I got to watch that again.
Me too, man.
I heard the uncut one is the one you got to see.
Oh.
So there's a good story on that. The Critical Drinker has a video up, and he talks about production nightmares or something like that, production hell. And he covers how they filmed that thing, and they rented like some fucking bowl or big, huge something. They put water in it, but the water's stagnant. And then so like they started quickly getting mold, and people started getting sick. It's a really good. You should check that out. But that was a pain in the ass to and that was a James Cameron. But he struggled with that. A lot of people got sick, and they talked to Ed Harris, who was in it. And he's like, it was like one of the worst shoots he ever did. Just pure hell. But I need to watch that again.
Me too. I got to tell you, I'm really disappointed we don't have more people listening tonight because this is such a good topic.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of people that normally listen that would have a lot to say.
Right.
And chime in on. So where the fuck are you at, people? No, I'm just kidding.
You mean people that know more than us?
Well, that's just about everybody. Yeah. So,
we're the dummies that are supposed to be talking about fucking Sylvester Stallone movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you know,
which we
did.
That.
We already did. We already did.
By the way, I watched because we were talking about Heartbreak Ridge, and I meant to go watch that. So what I did is I went down. This was before I burned my house down. I went down a rabbit hole, and I got a bunch of movies together from Clint, and Heartbreak Ridge was one of them. But another one was Firefox.
Oh yeah! Holy smokes!
I had forgotten all about that. I know I watched it as a kid. That's a good movie, man. Like, it's kind of like a Top Gun, but you get there after that plane that the Russians have. And by the way, that is again part of our Cold War and how great our country was, right? Because he goes in there, they need to get this plane, Firefox, and he needs to get it out. Because it's got their technology is so superior to ours based on that ship. It can do everything. It can so you can fire missiles by thinking. Like you can think fire a missile and it'll fire, retaliate, And
I wonder what would happen if he had gonorrhea and he just took a piss and he thought, God damn, that burned. Well, it felt like fire. There goes a missile.
There you go. Yeah, it's a good movie, man. And it like the first part of it, you think it's going to be like a spy thriller, and then it turns into really he's just has to get access to that plane, and they of course try to stop him. But again, it's a good take because we were so proud, and this was 81, 82. We were so proud to be Americans then. That you're rooting for him. I can't see that today. I can't see them making a movie where people want us to win. I could even see it being the opposite, where they'd be like, "I hope Russia gets those fuckers."
Well, when you
deserve that plane,
when you have a country that talks about toxic masculinity and is too stupid to realize that there are only two genders, doesn't matter what you feel like, doesn't matter what you identify as. When you have idiots out there that are arguing that and firmly believe that there are more than two genders, number one, you're too stupid to fucking breathe on your own. Number two, we will never get back to that pride in our country.
Well, if what you're saying is true, by the way, and we can just throw this out there, we've talked about it before. If we're about to enter into a major conflict with someone, and that means that, I don't know how it would go down. A lot of people say cyber, could be missiles. Eventually, it's all going to come down to the people, whoever's getting invaded. And it's going to come down to ground. And at that point, when they step on this land to come take our shit,
all bets are off.
Those very same people that didn't like toxic masculinity are going to be fucking calling and saying, where is all the muscle?
Well, I tell you what, you can say what you will. You can say I'm not a very good person or a very good human, but I will end those motherfuckers if it ever comes to it, because they're a liability. They're a detriment to my family's safety.
Well, throughout history, and those that know history understand that you'd call them revolutionaries, right? They're people, the protesters, the activists. They're always the first to die.
Yeah, they can't. Stupid.
Because they live under a net of a culture that was created by a defense, by an offense, and then the only way you can be an activist is if you have a free speech, free will, and we allow you. You can be afforded to be an activist. You think Russia has activists? They do. They're all fucking dead or in prison.
So it's funny you say that because there's a rock band from Russia who is very anti-Putin. And I forget what country it is that they went to, but they went to play a gig in another country. Oh, guess who just got detained? Mm-hmm. You think they're going to live?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, I mean, look at that actress from China. They talk about it in the book, the Red Carpet, I think, where the guy talks about communism and our influence, the West's influence on other countries and how it's been stopped, basically. But I want to say it was Lucy Liu, but I'm maybe wrong. And then during one of she comes over here for the some award show, and
racist.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember. She's still a citizen of China.
I know who it was. It was Something Wong.
No, that's racist.
Yes. Actually, no, it's called humor, motherfuckers. Get used to it.
But she says something insulting about the Republic of China, and then they put a warrant out for arrest. So they know she has to come back. His family lives there. She's from there. She's a citizen of China. And they wait for her to come back, and she disappears for a while. And then she comes back with a public apology. These are things that we didn't talk about much, but that's what you get for going against your country, and it's another place like that. So
she went to the re-education center.
Oh, dude, they fucking yeah. But that's what happens, right? And again,
you know why I really don't have a lot of sympathy for our activists or whatever in our country is because 99% of them have never been anywhere. Mm-hmm. They don't
that's why
know.
They're activists. I said, they're always the first to fall.
Yeah,
they got all the ideas, but they don't have any of the.
Well, most importantly, is they don't realize how good they really have it here. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're an American, if you live in this country, no matter how bad you think you have it, you don't have it bad. You know, when you go to other countries and the activism that you're crying for with the LGBTQRS, elemental PQ, whatever community, with your freedoms here, they're killing motherfuckers in other countries.
Yeah. Well, we talked about it. You know, it's funny that you bring that up because Douglas Murray's got a quote where he says, "When the monsters come knocking at our door, we're going to be wondering what sex they are." And that we're about headed there. That's what I kind of mean, right? It ain't going to fucking matter what sex they are.
Nope.
When they start fucking storming down these streets, and you're going to be going, where's all that muscle at? Where's all those guys? Because let's be honest. The dude dressed up with the beard, dressed up like the girl's he's probably not gonna do anything. He probably hates guns. He hates the masculine thing.
Ew.
Are you gonna go fight that war? I mean, maybe some will. I don't know. I'm sure there's some out there that they have this kink or whatever. We all have kinks. That's their kink, and maybe they do have that. I don't know, but I would say for the most part, the majority probably aren't too concerned with they probably have other things on their mind, like what dress they're going to wear today or whatever, what but you need both.
Do these heels make my ass look good?
Right, yeah. I mean, it's just fucking crazy. I got the one thing that would happen in that situation. China storms these shores. Let's just say, we don't know. Russia storms these shores, and it finally gets turned around. We're the one being invaded, right? Instead of doing the invading. I'm going to be safe for a while. The pale-skinned guy that has because China loves a conventional nuclear family. That's why they don't allow that shit there. For one, they understand that nuclear families produce population, and strength is in numbers. So they are huge on a nuclear family. Now, they're probably going to enslave me or kill me at some point. But I know who's first.
They're not going to kill, or they're not going to enslave me.
Yeah, well, you get it. I know who's for sure dead. I know for sure who's dead. And it's going to be, again, man, the reason why, like you said, it's a great country. It's got great ideas. And what makes it great is that you can be who you want to be. If you want to dress up in a dress and go somewhere, do that. Do whatever. Expect to catch some shit. But don't try to make everybody else go along with you. Just because you've seen a ghost, doesn't mean everybody in the fucking room needs to see that same ghost. And they shouldn't have to go along with you that you've seen a ghost, so they seen a ghost too. Because that's what we really deal with. I said it to my wife one night it's equivalent of that. You're sitting in a room with 20 people, and one person thinks they seen a ghost. And it's not enough that they seen that ghost. They need everyone else in the room, the other 19 people, to say, yes, I seen the ghost too. Yes, I did. I seen the ghost. And that's what we deal with. You're allowed to do the things you want to do in this country because they've been afforded to you by freedom of speech. And it's interesting because those same people that want to get rid of that and knock it out. And look, if you take the people that don't agree with you all the time and you get rid of them, and you understand that you're the one that has to do the fighting all by your lonesome. Uh-oh. And while we're busy demasculating everybody, China and Russia are getting rid of that. You're not allowed to be. They know there's gay there, but you're not allowed to be gay. You can't be in the forefront. China went so far as to any man who was metrosexual could not be on TV. Did you know that? That's a law there. If you can't be a metrosexual and be a little bit feminine and be on television, game shows, anything, it's illegal.
I didn't know that, but interesting. So I have a friend that they have a child that identifies as the opposite gender. And you know what? I will call that child whatever name they want to be called. I don't have an issue with that. But like you said, I have the issue of don't think you're going to tell me what I have to say, because I don't. I believe 100%. In fact, I don't believe. I know for a fact that it's a mental disorder, and that's okay. It's okay to have a lot of people. I have a mental disorder, right? But I don't need you to get on board with me and identify how I identify as, just because I have the problem. And let's face it, it's a problem. It's a mental health problem. So don't tell me what I can and can't say. If I choose to respect you as an individual, that's on me. If I choose to disrespect you as an individual, that's on me. And, oh, by the way, I'm afforded to do so under my First Amendment right. My point is can we call a spade a spade? It's a sickness, and it's okay. Cancer's a sickness.
We're all sick.
Right.
Every one of us, by the way, is fucking got a mental disorder at some point.
Sure.
It just depends what it is.
I have a lot of them.
Yeah, I do too, dude. I say, we've talked about the body dysmorphia. Like I said,
transgenderism.
Yeah, well, it's just different degrees. Like I've suffered from, like we discussed that. Like I've always felt I had to be a certain, way or whatever. And it doesn't matter to most people, but it matters to me. Everyone has something, but most of us don't ask everyone to go along with. Again, it's like my what I said about the ghost. If you see, I think I seen a ghost, but I don't insist that everybody believes in ghosts now because I thought I seen a ghost one time. I don't insist that you believe in ghosts. Nope. I seen a ghost. Everyone in this fucking world needs to believe in ghosts now because I seen one. That's a me thing. I can live with without you guys going along with it. I feel confident enough in my own skin. I think I seen what I seen, experienced what I experienced, but I don't need everybody to agree with me.
That's because you don't use your disorder as a crutch. You're not the victim. And that's the thing. Everybody's playing the fucking victim, man. You're not a victim. Get the fuck over yourself. You know what? And I'll be the first one to be on board, and I will help support you emotionally, whatever you need. out of just being a decent human being, right? But don't sit there and tell me I have to believe what you say you believe when it goes against science.
Well, don't you think sometimes a lot of it is to give credibility to what they think? Because I mean, like I said, dude, I've had my experience with that, but I really don't give a fuck if you believe it or not. I know what I see. That's what me and my buddy always say, who were there that night. Like, we know what we seen. Now, you don't have to believe it, and you can think I'm fucking nuts. I'll just tell you what I seen. But I think when you have to be in, look, I feel this way, and I need you to believe that this can be a thing. That's just you not believing that what you're doing is right, or what you think is right. And you need my approval. One of the things you always hear them say, well, everyone says that I'm a better, if it's a man act like a girl or a girl act like a man, they'll always say, everyone always thinks I'm a better woman than most women are. Well, what do you give a fuck what they think anyways? If you feel what you are that, then do your thing. You don't need anybody's approval. I sure as fuck don't need, I never say, hey, I think I had a ghostly experience when I was younger. I need you to get on board with this. We just don't do that. And that's the biggest thing. And that's only because I don't think they believe it.
So transgender comes with so many other additional mental health disorders. It's a conglomerate. It's like the perfect stew, right? So we need to go back and we need to treat it as such. Now,
well, isn't autism like they say the majority? Abigail Schreier wrote that book. I think I got her name right. And she says that the large majority of them are autistic, and they just are different, and they don't know what's wrong with them. So then
I don't know on that. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, but that man, I just lost my train of thought. And for those LGBT community that are going to try to bash me, number one, oh well, whatever, get over it. But I do not believe that homosexuality is a mental disorder. I just think that's the way you're born. And honestly, I don't have a problem with it. Until once again, you need to tell me that I have to do this, or I have to say that, or I have to think this way or that. No, I don't. I have a lot of friends that are in that community. Mm-hmm. We never even fucking talk about it.
Yeah,
it's not an issue because we're people and we talk about regular things.
Yeah.
We don't have to continuously throw it in each other's face.
Yeah.
I know you suck a dick. Okay, big deal. We can still be friends.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But I don't need to hear about it.
That's the confidence, though. That goes back to what I was saying, is they don't need your approval.
Right.
They don't need you to accept, they don't need to, hey, that I can be gay. They don't give a fuck. Those that are truly, you can have your hang-ups all you want. Like, I don't like onions, and most people like them. I've never, ever once fucking went and picketed or protested and said, I don't like onions. I don't know what you guys see in them. I need you to stop liking onions. Dude, it would do me so much if people would just fucking leave onions alone. You know how much shit onions, my food.
What up, Bear? We should do that, man.
Protest onions?
Yeah.
Dude.
We should totally do that.
So much fucking easier if people, how I went to lunch today with the wife, and I sat down and I said, yeah, I always have to say this. I'll take that, no onions. Like, I fucking hate them.
I'm the same way.
If everybody would if I could just get everyone to go along with me, if I could convince them that onions were bad, then I wouldn't have this problem anymore. I would never have to say and leave the onions off.
Dude, I'm serious. Let's protest onions. Not because I want other people to stop eating onions because I don't like them, but because it just shows the ridiculousness of the other argument.
Well, and another thing we could do, we don't have the funding for it, but we could make it up. Maybe we know somebody that could do this. We could put together a research, do it, because that's how you get that going. Well, first off, we need a lobbyist. We get a lobbyist to get behind this, and we sneak them into, you said here we have some politicians. We need to get them to kind of go to work inside the government for us. Say, yeah, we're hearing new studies that onions are bad for you. And we could make up some diseases, like onions give you athlete's foot or some shit. And that's where it wasn't ever from the locker rooms. It was a lot of people, studies show that people that ate too many onions tend to have a tendency. It's not much. You don't even have to prove it anymore. You could just say,
I saw it on the internet, therefore it's true.
Oh, you could just say we can't be sure, but it could be that onions give you athlete's foot.
Could be.
And then we get a research to go along. So we find a small university that needs some donations or something. And we could get like some fucking cream of wheat or some shit out to them and get them to put together a fake study in saying, and that's what you're doing. You're persuading people to think a certain way.
Oh, you're talking about global warming.
Right. I'm talking about manipulation, and that's how you do it. So then all we need is we get a couple of other podcasters, and we get them to start saying, yeah, I hear that onions give you athletics foot. And now studies show that venereal disease, they give you chlamydia. It's possible that all those people, and then we could point to it and go, like Al Capone, he loved onions.
Conversely, in this study, we found that if you piss on your feet, it will cure the athlete's feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wrong. Mark says, number one, onions are greater than garlic. I disagree.
No, I completely disagree. Garlic is, which is weird because I love fucking garlic.
You know what's weird is I like garlic, but I can't stand the smell of it off of somebody who's eaten a bunch of it. You know how it comes out of your pores and shit. If you eat something that's really, I can't stand that smell. He also said his Bud Lou, who is our Bud, thank you very much, is a walking onion. That's only because he makes you want to cry.
Oh, right. Yeah, dude. We could do that because it's the same thing, right? Like, you know how much easier my life would be if, like, what about McDonald's, dude? I loved Happy Meals as a kid. I fucking still don't get it. Why and they made it so hard. They chop them up. It was almost like it was on purpose. Like, if you go to like Wendy's, they come in rings and you can just slide them right off.
You know what though? I don't like onions. There are a few exceptions. I like the flavor of onion, like onion powder.
I do too.
Or, but I don't.
I can even eat a Funyun, right? Because it's not a real onion. But there's something about the onion.
But on a Big Mac,
fuck that, dude. I'm busy
okay
on a Big Mac. You know how much work I put into a Big Mac?
I'm okay with them on a Big Mac.
You can do that?
Yeah.
But a lot of it's not onion, it's the relish, right?
Right. And it's covered with everything else. You can't really taste the onion. And if you do get the crunchy part, you can just convince yourself it's a relish.
Well, so here's the kicker, right? So like I loved, when we were growing up, Happy Meals were the thing, right?
Totally.
You get your Happy Meal, but the thing was, it came with the fucking that pothole. Like you knew you were getting a Happy Meal, you're getting the great fries, you were getting your Coke, and you were getting but you got that hamburger, and it came with all the onions. So immediately I go to work scraping those fuckers off, and some of them get embedded into the bun. Then you're digging them out, you're pinching it, and the fucking bun's coming with it. So, I never understood that. Like, why? And like I said, they dice them up to make it harder. You can't just slide it off. So my understanding was, well, everyone must love them because they're in so much shit. They really are.
A lot of people, I think honestly, I feel it's a small majority that doesn't like them.
And that is what I'm talking about. Because what's the percentage of gay? What is the percentage of gay?
I don't know the percentage of gay.
It's 2.6 legit. In this, I think it's 2.6, and I think transsexuals is like less than 1.
It's 0.03% of the population for transgender.
Okay. Factual, you being serious?
Significantly less than 1.
Can we find out what percentage doesn't like onions?
Sure, we could.
And let's get behind that. Because I'm guessing even as bad as you say it is, it's greater than transgender. People that don't like onions have greater significant numbers than people that want their...
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Where's my fucking movement at? You know how much work I would have saved? And I'm not looking out for me. I've already been there. I've done that. I'm the guy that had to scrape. When I got a McDonald's burger, it was a fucking job for me.
Poor fucking bastard.
It was a fucking job, right? So don't ever make this mistake, by the way. So there was a time I said, my mom would go, well, why don't you just get it without onions? fucking good luck. You know what they say to you? Could you pull over to the side? We're going to be preparing your burger. You'd be there for fucking 15 minutes because they were trying to make a burger fresh that didn't have onions on it.
So you know what's cool about nowadays? I know we're talking nostalgia here, but Connie loves the mobile order apps. Loves them, man. Everywhere we go, it's a mobile order. So you order what you want, then you leave the house to go get it, and then you just pull in the drive-thru and get your shit. You ain't got to wait that 15 extra minutes for that special order.
Oh, that's right. Can you do that with like, well, fuck you. They can just bring them to your house now. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Mark says, I know Andy be eating garlic fried rice tomorrow. Why wait till tomorrow, motherfucker?
I love fried rice.
There's always tonight.
Yeah, but I mean, so there should be something. Why? So that would be my say is I could stand up and I could say, look, I've already had to live a life of no one caring whether I liked onions or not. I don't like onions. I never have, but yet people have been forcing me to live this life. And then I could use the thing, I'm just looking out for the future of other onion haters so they don't have to scrape their McDonald's.
You know what just came to me? The title for the episode of this show. Cold War 3.
So why 3? Because
we're talking about World War 3, Cold War. It rhymes. Okay. Fuck it.
All right, Cold War 3. Or we could say no more onions, please.
Cold War 3.
Hey,
Fight of the Onions.
Speaking of hamburgers, do you remember the lady from Where's the Beef? Remember that commercial?
Where's the beef?
Remember how fucking popular that was?
Oh yeah. Where's the beef?
That was huge.
Mark said, start with this. Onion fumes worse than methane from cows. I think you're on to something, dude.
Oh, there you go.
I think you're on to something.
So it could, yeah. We could, I mean, yeah, it should be. Well, dude, and I don't say this lightly. It has been a problem for me living in this society of people that love onions so much. I'm not kidding, dude. I was just today, like, leave those off. One time I fucking got mad. Dude, this is when me and my wife we were dating. And I went and we ordered, it was called Village Inn. It was in Omaha, Nebraska. It was like
yeah, I know about Village Inn. Yeah. They got them in Virginia. They got them all over the place.
I thought it was just a Nebraska thing. But cool. So I ordered, I always got the chicken fried steak skillet.
They make some fucking hellacious pies, don't they?
Oh, so good, dude. But I got the chicken fried steak skillet. I was hungover. And I called them up. I said, I want to place an order. I'll come pick it up. And I said, no onions. It's always no onions. And I got it home, man. I went and picked it up, drove it home, fucking got back.
It fucking had onions. Oh, I hate that shit.
I fucking threw it, dude. I rifled it. She still talks about it. I had onions in my carpet for like fucking 6 months because it hit the wall. I was so pissed. It hit the wall, and the fucking chicken fried steak and potato and gravy and everything went all over it. So she goes, oh my God. And I said, this is bullshit. You heard me say one time I got in an argument with the fucking waitress. She brought it out and I said no onions. She goes, you didn't say no onions. I go, I did. And I had people at the table and they go, yeah, he said no onions. She was pissed. I know she went and switched it out. I know I got, instead of onions, I got fucking loogies.
Yeah, you probably got some snail trail
I got
there.
Shit, I guarantee it, dude. But that's how much I hate them. Now, I've had to live that life and no one ever cared. I was forced into something.
I got news for you.
I wasn't living my, what do they call it? I wasn't living my true experience. How do they say that?
I don't fucking know, but no one still cares. Just so you know. Mm-hmm. But hey, what do you say we wrap this up? I didn't realize how late it was. I could go on for hours on this.
Yeah, one other thing, dude. I want to say this. It's going to be completely off topic. But I'm not a big video game guy. I mean, I always have the consoles, and I don't know if anybody listening plays it all. But I thought of this tonight before I came, and I've had the game, having the house burned down. I sit around kind of out of my element. So I thought, I'll buy a game. And I was looking at games. I didn't know what to get, and I came across a game called RoboCop Rogue City. So it's a newer game. I think it came out like maybe last summer or the end of last summer. But it is anybody who likes nostalgia, likes RoboCop, likes the old 80s shit. None of the crap that they try to force feed you today. It's just like same city, everything.
Who was that? Peter Weller?
They got Peter Weller. He's in it. Is it Nancy Carroll? that played his. I don't think she's in it, but they have all. So it's like the same. It's like you left a movie. It's like another side story. It's pretty long. I mean, it's not hard. There's not a whole lot of like what I hate about games today is you got to level up, do this, do that. It's basic. There's like just this, which is
just
perfect.
play the game
and not fucking play the game. I loved it. I recommend it. It's just straightforward. It's simple. So anybody that likes that old style, these games were like the games. This game was made for us.
You know, there was a game that I had played many years ago. It was a computer game, but it was Blade Runner, and it was like the movie. I mean, you were in the movie Blade Runner. It was really cool, and for the time, the graphics were excellent. But all right, I got to stop. Otherwise, we'll continue going on.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that. Another thing. Well, that's it. Wrap it up. I forgot what I was going to say.
And another. Anyway, hey everybody, Bear. Who am I kidding? Everybody, Bear.
Thanks for joining us, Bear.
Yep.
We appreciate it. There's a thumbs up.
There we go. Thanks for popping in the show. What the hell?
Fireworks. It's like the honeymooners.
It's crazy, man. And with that being said, we will catch y'all fools next week. Bye-bye.